excitement and just happiness was very special, I think, for those who got to witness that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say, I think a lot of people that I've talked to, you know, they sense the same energy, just like anyone who was watching it from like back or who was there. They're like, yo, I could see just the excitement that was on your face, and just, it was amazing. Like, that feeling was awesome. Like, you can never, like, words can't describe how it was. So when I rewatch it, I'm just like, wow, like, that was awesome.
Hi, everyone. This is Sasha from Women's Fight News, sponsored by Champions Memorabilia. I am joined by WBC IBO Super Featherweight World Champion, Alycia Baumgardner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You are now world champion. So just how exciting is that for you?
It's exciting. You know, I've dreamed of this moment and just now living in it. You know, I'm enjoying every moment.
Yes. And obviously to you, it wouldn't have been a surprise winning that fight and becoming world champion, because obviously you went into that fight week just with so much confidence, didn't you? But do you feel like you proved a lot of people wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I proved a lot of people wrong. I think a lot of people had an idea of who I was, or maybe didn't know who I was. And so my performance just spoke for itself, you know, just with the knockout, with how I came out, and just with the confidence building up to that fight. So yeah, there's a lot of people who I turned non-believers into believers, I would say.
Yes, definitely. Because obviously, I mean, the fight was in Sheffield. I loved the build up, because you really did show your confidence in that build up, where you just like oozed how much belief you had in yourself. And I know every fighter obviously goes in with confidence, but I felt there was a different aura with you. It was real. It was authentic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say so. I think just the build up and just having that opportunity come, you know, I knew that was the opportunity. And I think a lot of people have been waiting to have my breakthrough fight. And that was like the perfect fight. And again, like you said, very authentic, and just like, you could feel the energy. If you were there in Sheffield and you were there at the press conference in the weigh-in, you could sense the energy, and just, you know, Alycia is you know, the real deal and is ready.
Yeah, definitely. I think as that week was going on, I think when the fight was announced, you were the underdog to people. And I think as that fight week was building, I think it started to come at least 50-50. And I was fortunate enough to be there for that fight. And I was so lucky. I got to sit ringside, front row. And I was so excited, because it was just, even though it was a short fight, it was so entertaining. And I think just seeing your excitement, your pure just excitement and just happiness was very special, I think, for those who got to witness that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say, I think a lot of people that I've talked to, you know, they sense the same energy, just like anyone who was watching it from like back or who was there. They're like, yo, I could see just the excitement that was on your face, and just, it was amazing. Like, that feeling was awesome. Like, you can never, like, words can't describe how it was. So when I rewatch it, I'm just like, wow, like, that was awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And have you rewatched the fight then? Because if it was me, I think I would rewatch that fourth round time and time and time again.
Yeah, watched it, and I'm just like, you know, here comes the fourth round. It's always, you know, the fourth round. Yeah. It was just, it was a beautiful shot. Beautiful. Just the way everything was set up off of it.
Yeah, because you're obviously known for your power. You've had, you know, a lot of knockouts, but there was just something very different about that. Obviously, the knockout, I mean, it was quite like, I mean, I was taken aback when it happened, because obviously you seen Terri and she was very stunned. She was knocked out on her feet, and you don't see that often at all. And when I went home, and obviously I got to rewatch it again, and it was just, you couldn't time it more perfect, could you, that punch?
Man, no, it was just, you know, just perfect. Yeah. And like, you see it in the fourth round, and it's just like, boom, the timing was everything.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, you're now world champion. Has your life changed at all since coming back home and that all happening to you?
You know, just more busier, you know, doing more interviews, and, you know, just going here and there, you know, world tour. But I love it, though. I enjoy staying busy. I enjoy, you know, being world champion, and, you know, representing, you know, women's boxing as a whole. So it's been great.
Yeah. And what a great year as well for women's boxing, I think, last year. And I hope we get to say this every year. Last year was the biggest year for women's boxing, and you were a massive part of that. So, is that kind of inspiration where, obviously that fight is going to be shown for time and time again. So you're now just such a big role model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely an inspirational fight. I think that, again, just being the underdog and knowing what that feeling is like, being overlooked and not really seen for who you are. I proved a lot of people wrong, and people are inspired by that. Like, yo, I can be the underdog and still be a world champion in a day, and I knew that just with hard work and, dedication that I was going to get there. And, again, as the sport continues to grow, we can have these inspirational fights and, people can be motivated, young girls coming up in the women's boxing.
Yeah, definitely. I always say that obviously with more fights coming on TV and opportunities to watch boxing, there must be so many young girls who watch and look at people like yourself and go, I could do that. That's what I'm going to do. And that must be such a great feeling as well, knowing that you're going to play a part in like the next generation coming through.
Yes, it's a great feeling. I think, thanks again to Eddie Hearn for, elevating women's boxing so a lot of people can, have that chance. And again, it starts with us. And if we're building women's boxing now, and just look where it's going to be in the next 5 years, So I think that's perfect.
Yeah, it's so exciting, isn't it? So obviously you got your opportunity, you took it and you ran away with it. Was it at that moment, did you just think, all them years of hard work have finally, paid off and you've got your moment now?
Yeah. I tell people it was like, I was holding my breath underwater for a long time.
Yeah.
So when big release, like I can and that's exactly just how I felt. Like I finally did it. We're here. All just the hard work and just the dedicated time that I put towards the sport. That was the moment.
Yeah. Because people don't see that all the time, do they? Obviously they've seen you come along in Sheffield and win world titles. So don't think anyone really appreciates the hard work and the graft that actually goes into it and all of the fights that you've had to do to build up for that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, with me showing that, again, there's many women out there that can have the same, moment happen. So again, just keep shining the light, having these awesome turnouts and performances. People are going to want to see more, women's boxing.
Yeah, definitely. So Terri Harper's obviously announced she's moving up in weight, so there won't be a rematch. Obviously, that won't be going ahead. I think I know the answer, but who are you eyeing up then for your next fight?
You said, who am I?
Yeah.
Fighting my mandatory. Mikaela, I might have pronounced her name wrong, but she is next up to fight. So that is the fight that we are focusing on next.
Yeah, perfect. When's that going to be? Do you know?
I'm still negotiating, with the date, but it's going to be soon.
Exciting. So first title defense. Will it be in America, do you think?
It will be, yeah. I'm betting it will be in America. So great for the West.
And that's what you deserve, I think, as well. Obviously, as you hold the world titles now, it's nice to fight in your own back garden, isn't it, with all your support?
It is, but again, I love the UK. And like I told Eddie before, I would totally go back over there to fight. I think the fans there are they're amazing. They love boxing, so they appreciate it. I like that. Yeah.
And I think you gained so many fans in the UK and, even in Sheffield as well on that night. Obviously, everyone, it's kind of Terri's hometown. And obviously, I'm sure people were rooting for Terri, but everyone loves an underdog. And I think you won over a lot of people, didn't you, in your time in the UK?
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's what makes the story just more exciting. Just the underdog. Here's, a girl that a lot of people don't know. She's coming overseas to fight Terri Harper, who's defending her titles. And, it's great. It was perfect the way it turned out.
Yeah, definitely. So if you were to come back to the UK, is there a particular fight or an opponent that you'd love to fight back here?
No, just anybody who they would give me. Anybody just on a show for the UK, that's what I would like. So doesn't matter who.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you've got your mandatory. That's, of course, your main focus. You'd never look past that fight, of course. But Are you looking, I'm presuming, to become obviously unified in the future, then undisputed? Is that the plan and the goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Undisputed at 130 is my goal. It will happen. And that is what this is what this journey is. So that's what we're on right now.
Could you see that happening this year at all, or will it take a bit longer?
Happen this year, boxing is up and down. Boxing changes every day. So, I would like for it to happen. But again, those type of fights need to be built up. And with how women's boxing is, we need those good build-up fights so people have a show to watch, a performance to watch, a build-up fight. So they know both fighters, they know their stories, they know who they are and what they represent. And I think that just makes the story even better. So when we're having it on TV, people know, oh, that's Alycia Baumgardner and she's fighting such and such. Like, that's the knowledgeable that we have to be when it comes to these fights,
Yeah, definitely. Because I think sometimes, and I think with women's boxing at times, fights can be rushed because there isn't that depth there. But I think there's opportunities, like you say, missed because it deserves to have the publicity and the story behind it, like you say, and the build up so important for fights. It's what sells fights and makes fights, isn't it?
Agree. Yes.
And someone like yourself and Mikaela Mayer have done a great job of that so far. Obviously, there's been a bit of back and forth to each other, and we could maybe presume that could be a fight down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody wants to see that fight. I think it's a great fight for the U.S. I'm the best in the division, and Mikaela feels that she's the best as well. And so why not have, two of the best fighters go at it for undisputed.
That's it. And obviously Choi holds the other belt. So it would be nice, obviously, for someone to fight her and for yourself and Mikaela Mayer to have, because that would be a mega fight, wouldn't it, for women's boxing? I think that would obviously then be up there for one of the biggest fights in women's boxing.
I would agree. I would agree that fight is huge. And so again, just following the footsteps and follow the process to that.
Yeah, definitely. And that would be a big fight for American boxing as well, because we do see a lot of big fights for women's boxing happening in the UK. We do see them in America, but I do think that it's more frequent, I suppose, in the UK at the minute. So it would be great to have some massive fights consistently in America.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's how we build the sport, not just in the UK, because, the UK comes through. The US, you need to just pick it up just a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I do think that there are times when America are a little bit behind at times. And, in the UK, I think we get a bit better now, where near enough every show that I go to, there's at least one female fight on, which I just love. There was a time when I first got into boxing, it'd be like 6 months down the line of there's no female fights, and that's changed. But obviously in America, there are still times where you're thinking, oh, it's a shame, isn't it? Because there's many big fights, people headlining. You think there must be fighters out there who deserve that opportunity.
Right. And again, so that starts with, myself having a great performance to say, hey, what else is out there? I'm opening the doors. Many women are opening the doors. So again, if we can just keep shining that light, I think we're in the right direction.
Yes, definitely. So, obviously your dream, your goal is to become undisputed at 130. Would you look to move weights as well and want to become like 2-weight world champion? Would that be an option?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely will be moving to 135. Definitely 140, 47 is definitely down the line. But yeah, I definitely want to move up. Again, I'm an athlete. I love the challenge. I love fighting. I want to fight the best. And again, just making history for myself and for boxing.
Yeah. And is that what keeps you motivated, is to make history and become like, one of the superstars of boxing?
Yeah, it does. It's, there's not just a short-term, reward. This is long-term. This is legacy. This is what I want to leave in the sport. This is what I want to achieve, so young girls can say, hey, we have role models. I didn't have any role models growing up to say like, oh, I want to be like her. Like we've seen, it was never like nothing that grabbed my attention. So I'm like, be that for yourself, be that for somebody else. So yeah, that's my whole drive for this.
Yeah, and that is so important. So when you were getting into boxing and started, when you had no role models, was it difficult to kind of believe there was a path for you to achieve and become professional? Because obviously there was a time when there just wasn't much out there, was there?
Yeah, slightly, I had that thought, but I knew that if I worked hard and literally put the hard work and I made the sacrifices as I did as a young girl, I'm 8 years old in boxing, started sports when I was 5. I'm like, if I continue to work hard and have this work ethic throughout my, my life, I will get to where I want to. I told myself a long time ago, I don't want to have an ordinary life. Like, I want to be successful. I want to be able to live the life that I want. So here we are.
And now you've done it, which is just amazing. And I follow you on social media, and you're a very positive person. I think daily there's positive quotes and things that you say. And is that, a big part of your life? And is that how you feel like you've just said, you've achieved your dreams realistically, haven't you?
Yeah. For me, staying positive is important. We can find ourselves in, dark places, which I've been in the dumps. I've been sad. I've been questioning myself many times, but I know that on the other end, there is positivity. There is a chance. There is an opportunity. And so if I can focus, my energy on that, then, that just feeds me. The negativity just will bring you down. And in this sport, it's a mental game. And so you want to make sure is 100%, and you're working on it every day, and plus inspiring somebody else. You never know, a tweet could go a long way to help somebody, as it does for me. So yeah, it's all about just pushing the narrative of being positive and knowing that sometimes it gets hard, but again, keep pushing through. Joy comes in the morning. So
yeah, and that is so true what you say, like a tweet could make someone stay, because if you look at social media, it can be very negative at times, and boxing's hard enough, isn't it? There's a lot of politics, a lot of up and downs, and then you go on social media and everyone knows everything. So you see a positive tweet and you think it's very refreshing. If you look at, your Twitter account, it's like, oh, I wish more people would do this, because it does just kind of change your perspective on the day at times. Just reading just a simple positive tweet, can change your mindset, can't it, quite quickly?
Very quickly, and I'm always in my thoughts, and I write anyway. So Twitter is just if I don't have my journal on me, something might come to my head and I'll just tweet it. But yeah, I think everybody needs that. Everybody needs some positivity in their life.
Yes, 100%. So where are you up to at the minute? So I know you've not got the mandatory fight signed, but are you in camp or about to start camp?
Yeah, in camp, I always still do something light, just to stay in some shape, if that's running, if that's shadow boxing, jump roping. Yeah. So, we never lack. We know the position that I'm in and the importance of maintaining, and defending my world titles. So again, yeah, always staying ready.
Yeah, I think that's so important. We see quite a few fighters, not necessarily with the women, I don't think, but where they can balloon up in weight and then in between fights. And you think must be so hard, because your first few weeks of camp is just about dropping weight then, isn't it?
Well, no, not for me. See,
no.
I have the T where I don't have to worry about my weight. So every camp is just all work and just being sharp and learning new things. My weight, I don't have nothing to worry about. So that's out the window. And that's the number one thing fighters have to worry about is their weight.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that must make such a difference. So obviously from the day that you start camp, it is about just the camp. It's about your boxing. So say if people have got to focus on weight, that must be the mental side, I think must be quite tough, knowing, right, I've got to drop this much weight by this date. And I would imagine, take the focus off the fight ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. So again, when you have your ducks in order, that's one less thing you have to worry about. So
yeah. Definitely. Alycia, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to seeing you defend your world titles as well. And I will keep my fingers crossed that hopefully by the end of the year, you could be undisputed, which, what a feeling that will be.
Oh, it's coming. So thank you again. And, again, thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to our channel where we have new videos dropping all of the time. Also head over to our social media pages where we have the latest boxing news as well as interviews and live coverage from boxing events.